I wanted to ask two questions sort of wrapped up into one. One is, so I have a large student loan, which has prevented me from getting a traditional loan. And I wanted to know what strategies you might have or suggest for someone like myself who went to school and got a lot of student loan debt. And secondly, also have some credit card debt that I'm looking to pay down quickly and wanting to do it in a strategic way in the similar ways that you have all been talking about this morning. So those are my questions. Thank you.
When is the last time you looked at trying to get a house, and when were you told that your student loans were getting in the way? That's number one.
Within the last year.
Okay, things have changed within the last year. The amount of student loans that will get in your way, that number has been reduced so that you may be in a better position now to get funding for your loan. Listen, I don't care where you go. One monkey don't stop no show. I don't know if you ever heard that phrase before. You may be too young. There was a song out a few years ago. But when somebody tells you no, do not accept no from one lender as it's going to be no from all lenders. They all have certain rules that they follow, that they overlay on the rules from the government. Okay, so you may be eligible for a loan in most cases, but the particular lender you chose says, you know what? We don't loan on this amount or with this debt to income ratio, but another lender might. So you really do want to check in with someone else, especially now since the rules have changed on student loans. What was your other question?
The other question was the best way to pay down credit card debt.
All right. So now, what methodology are you using to pay down your credit cards right now?
So I have it all written out, and I was
Mhm.
trying to pay the largest interest first.
Ah.
Some people say pay down the smallest amount first.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but now the amount is somewhat similar.
All right.
And on one, a percentage of it is 0%. So I'm
Mhm.
working on the other ones.
All right. So now let's talk about the highest interest rate first. That's called the avalanche method. Okay. And then if you take a look at paying off the lowest balance first, that's called the debt snowball method. Are you aware of that?
I know the concepts, not necessarily the names.
Okay, so that's what we're talking about, the avalanche method. Now, if you say, well, I want to pay off this high interest rate, all right, but you have no idea what the interest cost is, that could be problematic because of how much you owe on a particular credit card. All right. Because the reason why we want to pay them off is because of the interest we're being charged. So let me give you an example here. I have a client, they pay off their credit cards every month. All right. And because of this, they had a credit card that was $1,200, but they had other debt as well. My program, which is a computer program, was telling them to ignore their credit card that had $1,200 on it at 12% interest. That was the highest interest rate card that they had. 12% interest. They never pay interest. And it was just killing them not to pay that thing off. And they thought something was wrong with the program, and I got the call. And so when I said, well, let's do a little bit of math first. Did you realize, I asked them, that your 12% annual interest rate really means 1% a month? 1% a month added up is 12% annually. And they said, I didn't know that. I said, okay, you're reacting to the words 12% interest. You're not reacting to the math. How much interest does that really mean? So, Sandra, here's what we want to focus on. How much interest does all of this really mean in dollars and cents? Let's get away from the interest rates and talk about how much am I paying on these cards in dollars and cents per month? How much interest is the interest cost? How much interest am I consuming? In my book, I call it interest consumption. Okay. How much is your interest consumption? And most people don't know. So what we found out is I told them, if you pay off this card this month, you pay that card off, congratulations, you just saved 1% of $1,200, which means they saved $12. Or you could put that $1,200 on your loan. Let's just say, I think they had right around $250,000 on their loan at about 4% at the time. All right. And I'm putting this on the screen just in case you want to know, Kurt. All right. So I got $250,000 on the screen, and we have an interest rate of 4% and 360 payments. This is what we have going on. Boom. So their payment is $1,193.54, Sandra. So if they take that $1,200 and put it on their mortgage, they're going to save somewhere between right around $3,000 in interest by putting that $1,200 on their mortgage instead of saving $12 by paying off the card. Do you see what we're talking about here?
Totally. I get that.
So you want to make sure that wherever you're putting your money, you're getting the biggest bang for your buck by eliminating the card that's costing you the most money in interest cost, not just interest rate. Does that make sense?
Totally. That makes sense.
All righty.
But Don has some valuable information that can contribute to the quality of a person's life. And it only costs you a few dollars. It's his book. Why not get that?
I'm going to go through the P.I.L.L method myself with some of my investment properties. So I'm going to link up with Don, and then I'm going to sit down with him, show him my investment portfolio, and see how I can eliminate interest.